Hi guys, Masudi here. Uh, Actually, it's been a couple of months since our last session, and meanwhile, I was thinking about how we are gonna to continue these sessions that we have here. So far, we've worked on a server and on a client and an HTTP client that we have written ourselves from the scratch. And if you remember from the other sessions, and one thing that I wanted to mention, that our friend Omid was my partner in the last sessions, and he has not been able to make it to this session. So we'll continue these sessions alone for at least a few episodes. So if I want to have a recap of the previous sessions, so we have here all the code that we've written is just a simple admin application and a customer application. So the admin application is actually the representative of an admin of a shop, which gives actually services to the customers that comes to the admin shop. And the customer that we developed later is those remote customers that place their orders actually remotely, not by coming in person to the shop. And let me just run it once more here. So you can see that when we run the admin application, we have this textual menu here, which gives us a bunch of options. We can change the shop name, we can create a new product, we can create customer, and so on and so forth. And we can, for example, let's say print product list by typing 6, and it gives us the product list that we have created before. And also we can run this customer application that we have here. It's almost 70 lines of code. Let's run this. This customer application will try to connect to the admin application through HTTP connection. And for example, if we say ask for product list, we are sending you can see here that it has received a get HTTP request, and it has sent over all the product list that we have in the admin side. So it's basically pretty much the client server scenario that we have usually in all the applications. We have a server application that all users sign up their login, for example, ask for product list, place their orders, and so forth. And yes, so as you can see, and as we have speak before, if you take a look at this, for example, admin application, which is the main part of the program so far, it's almost 300 or 400 lines of code, and actually it took me about maybe 1 or 2 hours to walk through all the functions and to see what's going on, because it's been, as I said before, it's been a couple of months, and I myself, which is the main author of this code, had some difficulties actually working with this code, and it took me maybe a few hours just to recap and see what's going on, because you can see that we've got a bunch of classes inside this file, we've got a bunch of functions, and for different purposes. Also, we have this textual user interface here, which is itself inside this file. So you can see a lot of different responsibilities that are in the same file, which is totally wrong. And we have done this intentionally, deliberately, because we want the other actually junior guys, those that are newbies to this industry, we want them to follow us, and we will, and you see literally no architecture here. And if, for example, let's say this is the project of some company, and a new guy gets hired and tries to, for example, add some lines of code to this code, that new guy has to walk through all of these files and classes just to see what's going on, just in order to be able to add a single line of code. And this is totally wrong. And we have to actually, this is the issue that can be resolved by constant refactoring. Refactoring is not a task that is not a one-time task. Actually, it's a habit. It's kind of a habit. It should be a habit for all the programmers, and we will eventually, gradually try refactor this code actually into some architecture. Actually, we will have some well-known architecture inside this code. We will refactor this code, but I don't want to actually add some. I want to spice it up. Actually, I want to. We don't want to refactor through the next episodes. We want to enter a new phase of this project, and we want to introduce actually a graphical user interface to this project, because in the admin side we have this textual user interface. In the customer side we have this one, and if we want to ship this application, the admin actually, of course, both the admin and the customer have to go into a black screen console just to be able to interact with this application. And this is not what we've seen in modern applications nowadays. And we want to have a basic graphical user interface. And again, we will try to first understand the internals of the graphical user interfaces, and maybe write actually one from scratch ourselves, like we've done this for the server side application, for the server side, and for the HTTP client and HTTP server. And then we will gradually move to, for example, some well-known UI framework like Android or Flutter or iOS. But first we will try to see how is it possible if we can do this without any of those frameworks, just to have actually get a flavor, actually see the essence of these frameworks. Yeah, and that is pretty much what we are going to do in the few episodes from this episode on. Yeah. Okay, so stay tuned, and if you had any questions, ask it. And yeah, thanks. Bye.